Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video. And this is a paid request for Jonathan. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And it could be any topic, reaction, commentary, review, re-review, random thoughts, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, full playthrough, whatever the case may be. And I'll get to as soon as I can. Like I said, PayPal is usually the best bet. I do have a Patreon and a CashApp, just people have asked about those. All those links are down below in the info box, and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thank you. So, today, Jonathan wanted me to review The Sixth Sense from 1999. The Sixth Sense. Now, this is when M. Night Shyamalan really got into the public. I think he had done stuff before, but this is the film that really brought him fame. And I don't know if this is true, but I read somewhere that Bruce Willis was making a movie. Was it Brooklyn something? It was some kind of like romantic comedy movie that was never finished. That apparently, I don't know, 20 days or so, and he didn't like what the crew was doing, and 10 or 20 days in, he didn't like the crew, he fired them, and then that film fell apart. And then pretty much Disney, whoever, said, you know what, we're not going to sue you, but you're going to do this film, Armageddon, and Disney's The Kid, 3 pictures, but you don't have a much lower salary. So we're going to get you, not quite a freebie, but pretty close. Which is funny, because those are pretty successful. You know, The Kid did okay, but especially Armageddon and Sixth Sense, they were definitely successful. So, just funny enough, it worked out in the end. But yeah, Bruce Willis stars in the film. You also have Haley Joel Osment, which he's someone who I do think he did a really good job in this. I think he's absolutely one of the big positives for the film. He's definitely one of the best things about the film. It's a shame his career didn't really take off as it should. I mean, he did films, but there were films that sadly didn't really work out for him. Pay It Forward was one of those very, trying to be like preachy, but then you're like, what the hell? Especially at the ending. To not give away, you look at the finale, you go, what? That's what you're doing? Barf. You know, really preachy, sanctimonious sentimentality. Sorry, I keep doing this like this. You see my mouth going, because I feel like I want to puke. It's like ending a Patch Adams. I know people disagree with that, but, you know, sorry I took like 30 seconds to do this, but it was like me just go hurl on this. Sorry, no, Garth, I'm not going to do that. I'm fine now. I got my 7-Up. Whenever you have an upset stomach, 7-Up works. So anyway, and AI. I know some people really like AI. I don't know. Didn't love it. That ending at the end was like, really? That's what you're doing? Okay. I get what you're going for, but and those films didn't really do the best. Like, AI cost a bit of money. It didn't really do the best compared to other Spielberg films, and I don't think Pay It Forward did much. And then he's getting older. He's no longer a kid anymore, and to be honest, as an adult, he did an X-Files episode, one of the revival episodes. He was in a couple Kevin Smith stuff, like Tusk, sadly. He definitely looks a bit different compared to back then. Seems like a nice guy. But sadly, he kind of peaked with The Sixth Sense. But hey, you know, sometimes you only need one. I mean, lucky to him. I don't have any, so I'm not one to talk. But he did do a really good job in here. You also have Toni Collette. Donnie Wahlberg is at the beginning of the film. And this is one of those movies that I remember more the phenomena than the film. Because I watch the film again, I watch and I go, I don't think this is a bad film. I don't. I think it's okay. I like it okay. I do think there was another film that year that was better called Stir of Echoes. With Kevin Bacon, I thought that the stakes were more amped up. It felt more like an intense movie. I mean, this is labeled a horror film, but Stir of Echoes felt more like a horror film. This was, I would say, more of a drama. I mean, I guess you say there's horror elements because of the ghost stuff, but even then, I think they're few and far in between, and I don't really think, aside from maybe the one or two tent sequences, there's not a whole lot of scenes that have even try to have tension. And I don't think it's badly filmed. I do like the acting. The score is fine, but I do think the scores in Signs and Unbreakable were much better. Like, it's an okay film, but I think Stir of Echoes was just much more exciting, thrilling, intense. It felt like there was much more danger to the characters, much more danger because of the ghosts. Just much more danger all around, and that amped up the stakes. I didn't really feel that. I didn't feel there was much at stake in the film. But it's just not like the kid was like being attacked from all sides. At least not really. And like I say, it was more of a drama. Do I think it deserved Best Picture nomination at the Oscars? No, but it's the Oscars. I'm like, so like Jacob's Ladder from 1990 doesn't get a Best Picture nom. You know, Session 9 doesn't. Like a lot of these other horror films. But, you know, what can you do? You have a wonderful performance by Haley Joel Osment. Bruce Willis, yeah, he does the Bruce Willis stuff, which I'm fine with because I like Bruce Willis. I like when he does the Bruce Willis stuff. But there are moments where he gets some nice, genuine reactions out of him, the director does. Like when he sits with Haley and tells about what happened to this previous patient he had and how his marriage broke down. And I thought you got some really good bits from Bruce Willis. And I like Bruce. I know from many places on set he was a dickhead. It's sad though what happened to him and to his brain. I don't wish that on anybody. I don't. Does that mean he should have been a dick on? Apparently he behaved on here, but you know, other films he was behaving rather poorly. Bonfire of the Vanities being one, Striking Distance being one, even a Cop Out on, you know, not a good movie, but still. But it seems like he'll test the director out, and if he respects the director, then he'll behave. I guess with like M. Night Shyamalan, I think even M. Night said it took a while for him to get used to me, trust me, but once he did, he was fully committed. I guess that's why like Bruce will pretty much do anything for M. Night, just like he'll pretty much do anything for Quentin Tarantino. And there you go. But like I said, the phenomena behind the film and the twist ending, of course. I think more people remember the twist. When I say phenomena, I meant the twist. They remember the twist more than the movie. And the twist kind of overshadowed the movie so much that now all you can think of is the twist. And now that you go in and you watch the film, I don't think the film is as interesting now that you know the twist. I think Stir of Echoes has a much more intriguing story, much more fascinating mystery. Here, I mean, you know the twist. Everybody knows the twist. If not, spoilers from here on out. And like I said, that became the kind of the handcuffs on M. Night Shyamalan because he felt he had to outdo himself. So what twist can I have in like The Village and some of these other movies? to the robot chicken. What a twist! When they have their M. Night Shyamalan caricature on there. Now, I know I'm 10 minutes and I haven't talked about the plot, because, I mean, the plot is pretty simple, actually. Bruce Willis is a child psychologist. He's spending the night with his wife. There's a patient that happens to be in their bathroom. I guess he snuck in. They didn't notice. I mean, this is a guy Nate did only with his underwear on, and somehow he snuck in like a ninja, but he did. And Donnie Wahlberg does a good job, actually, playing very sad, breaking down a former patient that tells about how Bruce Willis failed him. Bruce Willis tries to talk him down, and he gets shot. Bruce Willis gets shot sometime later in the fall, and he's on a new case trying to look into this kid, played by Haley Joel Osment. Haley Joel Osment does not get along the best at school. He's very isolated. His mom, played by Toni Collette, is wondering what's going on with him. She's a good mom. She tries her best to deal with the situation, but you tell it's getting to her. You can understand why. I thought Toni Collette actually did a good job as the mom. And Haley Joel Osment doesn't really trust Bruce Willis at first, but throughout the film, I would say that's the best part of the film, is the stuff between Bruce and Haley. Their conversations together, Bruce trying to help the kid, and the kid telling him his secret, I see dead people. And him explaining the type of ghosts he sees, and they don't know that they're dead, and they see things that they want to see. You have a couple scenes where either he gets locked in a cupboard and he's stretched up a bit, or he's hiding in a tent and some crazy woman who got marks on her wrists, or this little girl who's like foaming, vomiting from the mouth, until ultimately Bruce Willis starts to believe in him and tells him, well, I think the reason these go see you is because they want help. They need help. And so ultimately the kid does that for this little girl. This is spoilers. You find out that the little girl was being poisoned by her, I think, stepmother. I don't think we ever find out why she was doing it, but I guess, if there was a movie based on that, then you would find out. And all of a sudden, Haley Joel Osment is happier. He's able to do a play, like Teen Arthur play. Says goodbye to Bruce Willis. Bruce goes home, and then you find the twist ending with dun dun dun. Super duper duper spoilers. Bruce has been dead the whole time. When he got shot, he died of his wounds. And, throughout the film, you'll ask questions like, well, okay, if he was dead, how did he even find Haley Joel Osment in the first place? But I guess you could argue maybe this was the case he was going to do eventually. Although you're thinking, well, wouldn't the mom be wondering where the psychologist is at? But maybe she already did find out. But if she was going to hire a psychologist, why didn't she try to hire another psychologist? Hey, this guy didn't work out, let me get another one. But, or maybe they did in between that time, and it didn't work out, so... Like, there are questions to ask, but, there are ways, I guess, you should rationalize it. And when you watch the film again, you notice there's nobody else speaking to Bruce Willis. When there's a date he has with his wife at the restaurant, she doesn't look at him, and she just takes the check and leaves. He thinks it's because their marriage is breaking apart, but we know otherwise. There's also the thing of, did Haley know from the beginning that Bruce was a ghost? It seems like the consensus from most was that he did. So then the question is, well, why didn't he tell Bruce Willis? But you say, well, maybe he's tried to do that before, but it didn't work out the best. Maybe that will also explain why he never tossed to his mom about, hey, I'm seeing that psychologist guy again. What psychologist guy? You never see Haley talk to his mom about Bruce Willis, about his character. There's never a moment like when he's at the. I don't know. There's never a point where. I mean, there's never even a point where Haley talks to Bruce and nobody else. Like, there's nobody else in the scene. Anytime they talk, there's nobody else around. The reason being because then people go, well, wait a minute, what's that boy talking to? He's talking to a mirage? So I will say, like, M. Night tried to do the best he could with it. I think he did a fairly decent job when you rewatch it. Okay, and like the stuff you question, you could kind of explain with the certain rules that Haley Joel Osment says that don't see what they want to see, all that stuff. And I guess it's up to you whether Haley knew he was a ghost all along. Again, it seems that the consensus is yes, he did. Or that he didn't, but then he eventually figured it out. But then there's certain things he says, like when he tells his secret, I see dead people. He does say, please don't tell anyone my secret. And I'm like, well, if Haley thinks this guy's dead, why would he go, don't tell me anyone my secret? Who would he tell? The ghost police? I mean, why would he go, please don't tell anyone my secret? So, I mean, it's little stuff like that made me question that. But, I mean, as for the film itself, like I said, I think Bruce Willis, if I'm comparing both films, I think Stir of Echoes, Kevin Bacon knocks out of the park and goes through the whole range of emotions and anger and frustration and paranoia and being in fear and the whole gamut, and gives a much more intense performance. It has a lot more to do. While Bruce Willis, for a lot of times, looked very morose and sullen, but it works for the film. And I said, there's a couple moments where he was teased, tearful, emotional that I think serves the flick well. Haley Joel Osment, I thought knocked out of the park. I thought he was a very good kid actor. Brought a good sense of vulnerability to his character. In the wrong hands, it would have been really cringy or annoying. I don't think that was the case in this. Toni Collette, I thought worked well as the mom. I didn't mind the bit where her and her son, she finds out and believes his secret and they hug. Thought that was a nice little scene. But like I said, there's not a whole lot that I really found creepy or scary. Probably the few ghost appearances. There's some Hun people that Haley sees as whatever. There's the bit with the misdirection in the tent where it's up, the camera's up here, and then there's the girl foaming at the mouth, vomiting, and it's like, okay, that's not a bad jump scare if you'd ever seen the film before. But at the same time, there are some weird scenes, like in the school. He's in class and the teacher is looking at him and he's like, don't look at me. Okay, it's rude to look at people. Idea maybe he's just losing his mind, but the way he's like, don't look at me. And then I guess someone had told him who this guy was as a kid. Stuttering Stanley. Stuttering Stanley. You stuttering Stanley. Stuttering Stanley. And then the teacher's like, shut up, you freak. That felt a bit forced and honestly felt a bit goofier than it was supposed to, at least to me. I thought it was pretty laughable, just the way that was handled and written, and I don't know. It didn't really need to be in the film either. I guess just to show he doesn't fit in at school, but I think just people look at him weird, and I think there's other subtle ways to do that. And that's the thing, like, you watch the film, and other than the acting between Bruce and Haley, there's not a whole lot. I mean, like I say, it's not really many set pieces I could think of. It's not, that violent. It's not scary. It's not really creepy. I don't think it features a whole lot of atmosphere or dread. The musical score is there. I've heard better, I've heard worse. The direction, camera work is fine. Interesting motif to use red, in particular when some kind of haunting's around. So you use the color red in specific ways. That's probably all I get out of the style of the film. So, like I said, watching it again now that you know the twist, it's kind of it's a fine drama with a pretty good performance by two people, and it's really their friendship that I think makes the film work, makes the film watchable, and makes it a okay. It's a fine film. I would say it's more than okay. I would say it's more. It's a fine film. It's not a film I rewatch much. It's not a film I really go back to see. Because of the predicament Bruce Willis is in, I think this is one of the reasons. Bruce Willis really doesn't have a whole lot to do because of the circumstances. Other than talk to Haley Joel Osment, he can't really do anything. Because that would defeat the purpose, or that would screw up with the purpose of the ending where he's dead. So because he's dead, he can't talk to anybody, he can't really... Not a whole lot of things he can interact with. Like, he kind of does, but he kind of doesn't. There's really nothing of the ghost doing anything to him, because he is a ghost. There's a bit where, like, a car almost hits him, but that's because he's not really there. But there's really not much Bruce Willis gets to do. Of course, in terms of action, no, it is not an action film, but there's not a lot of scenes he can really yell or scream, or there's not a lot of physical stuff he gets. They said he just, like I said, other than talk to Haley Joel Osment, he just doesn't have a whole lot to do. I get why, because of the story. It's just, again, you have Bruce Willis, like, you, I don't know. Even in a drama, you're able to do stuff. It's just that because of the plot, he's limited to what he's able to do. Anyway, I don't know how else to explain it. Maybe I'm not explaining it the right way. It's just, for a ghost story and a horror movie, a lot of the ghost horror elements can't be implemented on your lead character, Bruce Willis, because he is the ghost. So he can't experience a lot of the creepy moments, Richard Gere, Mothman Prophecies, Chapstick, Kevin Bacon, Stir of Echoes. Like, your lead protagonist is able to be confronted, assaulted, scared by the antagonist. 1408, John Cusack. Other George C. Scott, the Changeling. All these other characters and actors that they're confronted with these situations, and just much more is done to them, so they're in danger, they're threatened, none of that is ever the case for Bruce Willis because of the circumstances. So he's just there as an advisory for Haley Joel Osment, which is fine, but just not my favorite film in Bruce Willis' filmography. But I do not think this is a bad film. I don't. Especially with M. Night Shyamalan's track record. Unbreakable, I still think is his best. I would put Signs as number 2. Yes, the ending is, with the ending. But I liked Signs. And number 3, I would go with The Sixth Sense. And those are the only films he did worth a spit and worth a shit. Knock at the Cabin is close. I thought it was okay. But, mainly for Dave Bautista. But yeah, other than that, it's really those 3 films that I think of when I think of M. Night Shyamalan. just afterward with the village and the last fart bender and afterbirth and old farts and trapped in the closet and the happening. What? No, it's happening to what was that one movie? The Visit from the Idiots. The stupid little kids that you see your date your grandma stabbing at the door, and then you tell your mom everything's okay. I've only known this person for 2 days, but yeah, everything's okay. Everything's all right. Anyway, that's just me. But yeah, take that for you will. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.